Welcome to Mastering the Art of Success. I am your host, Debbie DiMaggio. I am so excited to be here with JoJo LaRiccia from Boston. Welcome, JoJo.
Thank you, Debbie DiMaggio from California.
That's right. We're having a heat wave here, and you're having the
It's
opposite
cold.
weather.
It's
It's
cold.
cold. Thus, our outfits very, very different, not in the same room. So,
Right.
JoJo LaRiccia, CEO and visionary, transforming how leaders show up on video. JoJo LaRiccia is the super connector and video strategist at LaRiccia Media. She creates short form documentary and explainer videos, typically 5 seconds to 2 minutes, for clients handling scriptwriting, filming, remote or in person, custom editing, and distribution across 100 plus platforms. Her background in 60 plus years in media started at age 11 at MIT, taking photography classes and later working in video production for 19 years at SCATV, now Somerville Media Center, including Dead Air Live, the longest running live TV show in the United States. She's also been involved in projects like MTV Basement Tapes and a PBS show called JoJo's DreamCart. JoJo specializes in organic video marketing and strategic placement so videos are seen by the right audience. She works with a wide range of clients, including lawyers, architects, realtors, accountants, high profile professionals, and tradespeople, crafting engaging, tailored content designed to spark curiosity, generate leads, and leave a memorable first impression. Welcome, JoJo.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. So, did you see the picture of the goat with me on the goat
I
in
didn't
19?
because is
Okay,
oh
yeah,
there. God. Oh my God.
1957. My mother hears a guy cruising down the street ringing a bell. And she said, "Oh my goodness, this is a perfect photographic photo opportunity." And there I am. Okay. So I am 4 years old
Oh,
in this picture. And it went from everything with wheels, from the goat cart to the push cart to the dream cart. So everything has wheels. It's like a whole story that was propelled from that moment in
from that
history.
I
Yeah.
love it. Well, we're going to have to go back to the dream cart then because that sounds like a much bigger story than that
Oh,
cute little photo.
it's a very big story. Yeah.
Oh, I'm visual. So we're going to start your story because are you from Boston?
I was born in the Italiano section of Boston. I
Okay.
lived there for the age of 2, so I really don't remember a whole lot, but I am the youngest of 4 kids. And
All
this
right.
has a lot to do with my
Being,
upbringing, because when you're the baby, you have to fight. You have to fight to be seen and noticed, and it's just so I was very competitive. I grew up with 2 older brothers and an older sister. So, and
you
I
had to,
love my family. We're very tight. We're close, but we're still competitive.
oh my gosh. All right. So we're in Boston. Picture it, everyone. So your origin and story. You started in media. How is this possible? At age 11 at MIT. What sparked that early curiosity? And did you know that where you are today, that you would be here when you were growing up? Did you have any idea? Did you have a
I
plan that
did.
this would
I
do?
did. I had a, I want to share a little something about me, because this is kind of like a little odd. I'm sitting on my front steps and I said, I am 11 years old and I have done nothing with my life. I feel like a failure. What 11-year-old kid thinks like that they've done nothing and that they're a failure, right? So I
That's
just
so
said to myself, this is going to be a defining moment for me in my life. What I choose today will be the whole trajectory course of my life. I mean, I knew this at the age of 11. Who knows
wow.
this stuff?
No one.
I'm even going to back up a little further. At the age of 4, I wanted to be a singer and a piano player, not a piano player, a piano. I couldn't say piano, so I called it piano. And I
Okay.
knew I wanted to be involved with the arts at the age of 4. But
Wow.
nothing really happened until the age of 11.
Oh gosh,
And
you
I'll
wasted
share,
all this.
I, I did. I did like, I don't know, 5 years. When you're a kid, that's a lot of time. So I'll share the story how it all began. My
Okay.
brother Joe wanted to be a priest. He went into the seminary. My dad got a beautiful camera for my brother Sal, my older brother Sal, and told my brother Sal, I want you to document your brother's journey into becoming a priest. And my brother
Wow.
Sal started taking these beautiful photographs. I mean, they were just incredible. And I said, I want to learn photography. So I was part of the local teen center. And the gentleman who was running the teen center, I said to him, I need to learn photography. Where can I go to learn photography? I said, there's a lot of competition in my family and I have to prove my self-worth. And he said, I don't really know. He said, but I'm a student. He was a student at MIT, and his roommate was also a student, but he was teaching a course on photography at MIT, 2 miles away. So he said, you could try, but it's unlikely that you'll get into the class because it's for college students. So this is where it really all began. I learned
Wow.
the art of people either saying yes or no. If you don't
Mm.
ask, you will never find out. So I go to MIT. I knew the address. I go there with my friend Petey. We take our bikes. Petey is still my friend to this day. And we take our bikes. I knock on the door, and Jeremy answers the door. I says, hello, Jeremy. I said, we heard there was a photography class and we want to take it. And he said, you can't take this class. You're kids. You're not MIT students. You didn't pay tuition to be here. And I looked at him and I said, do you think we rode our bikes here 2 miles to hear you say no? I don't think so. Jeremy caved. He didn't know what to do with that. So that's where it all began. We ended up in the photography class. There was about 8 people there. And they, the instructor Jeremy and the students thought we'd be there for 2 minutes and then we'd be gone. No, no,
Right.
no, no, no. Took the whole class and
Wow.
we got a credit. I mean, we got an A. We didn't get a credit because we're not students, right?
Right. Right.
I asked my parents, can I build a dark room in the basement? I had all the clotheslines with the clothespins. You hang up the photographs, all the stinky chemicals, the trays of stuff. Everybody was saying yes to me. Yes, 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 yes. Oh yeah. And the funny
Everyone was
story
for
is,
you.
and you'll maybe understand this, but I came from a very strict Italian family. My
Mhm.
father was very strict, strict. And our class assignment was to take pictures of some part of the anatomy. And I went, oh, this should be I'm 11 years old. I'm curious, right? So my friend and I, we took our bikes. We rode about 11 miles to Lynn Beach, which was a lot of miles for kids on a bike.
Yeah.
And it was a hot summer day. And I was very curious about boys and men. So I started taking pictures of men's chest and them, the men in their bathing suits, and I developed all these pictures of men. My
Oh my
father
God.
found my father found the pictures. He went bonkers. Oh my God. He went ballistic. Like, what are you doing? So he made me rip up all those pictures. Men's feet, men's arms, their hands, their
Oh,
muscles,
what did you turn
everything. And
in
I
for
would
what'd you turn in for class? It was an
Oh, I
assignment.
turned in all these pictures. I had it, and they were the people, the college students in the class, and they didn't really say anything. They just said, what could they say? You
Right.
knew that you knew that I was promiscuous at the age of 11, but I'm 11. I'm curious. I'm learning about the world. And I had all these men posing for me with their muscles, and it was great.
It reminds me of my daughter. She was always very just, outgoing and she was like a little adult speaking to everyone like you were. That is so amazing. And so you took the whole class at MIT.
Well, we took
You
the
went
photography class.
you
So
took the
I
photography.
did go to MIT. I wasn't like,
You did go to
and
MIT.
I wasn't a registered student. I kind of talked my way into this class, which
Of course.
was
Well, you
which
were 11.
which is, if you don't ask, you don't know. And someone can either say yes or they're going to say no.
I write that in my book, the mindset and motion method and mindset and motion. What's the worst? They're going to say yes or no, or they won't answer you, but no harm's going to come if you don't ask. My call after
That's
you
right.
is to an author I met online, and he's so generous with his time, Bob Berg. And I met him on Twitter, just complimenting something he wrote on Twitter, a positive quote, and we've become friends. So you just have to ask, you never know. So
That's
let's
right.
pivot from the 11-year-old. So, okay, take us to how did you get into what you're doing today, and tell us a little bit about what
Okay.
you are doing.
I have to tell you the timeline of the story because
Yes.
it's all
Yeah.
connected. My great grandfather invented the rubber balloon. He
Wow.
brought the balloon mold over from Italy into the United States, and he went to one of his friends, Neil Tittleston, and asked Neil Tittleston to help him to market the rubber balloon. And Neil Tittleston loved the idea, that he stole the idea, and Neil
Wow.
Tittleston patented the latex balloon. So he
Oh,
used a different material, but he loved the concept. So my grandfather got screwed.
yeah.
Anyway, that's how the story goes. What does this have to do with what I'm doing now? So I'm
Your
gonna
time.
fast forward. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm 16 years old, and because my dad was known for you know going, he had a side hustle. He was a carpenter by trade, but during the weekends he would go to the parades and he would sell the balloons and the novelties and the trinkets. And I said to my father, Daddy, why is it that when I work with you, you pay me $2 a day and you pay Joey and Salvi 15 to $25? And he said to me, well, they're boys, they're men. You're a girl. And I looked at him and I said, are you kidding me? I said, I work twice as hard as they do. I'm I'm a faster worker. I produce more. So he said to me, if you want to get paid like a man, you have to work like a man. I said, bring it on. What do I have to do? He said, tomorrow, I want you to go to work alone in front of the New England Aquarium. Now, the New England Aquarium is a big museum in Boston. And I
Mhm.
just got my learner's permit. So I really shouldn't have been driving alone, but Boston is only a few miles away. So I hear my mother in the background, Victor, Victor, what are you asking her? She's just a little girl. You wanted to stand on a street corner alone and work. And my father said, she asked for it. And I knew again, this was a defining moment in my
Right.
life. If I didn't say yes to this, my whole life would have changed. And I mean everything.
Wow.
So I went out there, and this is also interesting. When I first started working, my shoulders were down, my head was down. I wasn't making any money. As soon as I threw my shoulders back, looked people in the eye, boom, boom, sales,
Wow.
sales. I went, this is crazy. So I was out there for 35 years, but during the 35 years that I was out, that's a long time.
Long time.
1971 to 2004, 35
Wow.
years on the waterfront. And during the winter time, I would nurture the media side. I would
Mm.
always be learning things about media, media, media. I was fascinated. I was fascinating with photography. I was fascinated with audio. Music. I learned how to play the guitar. I learned how to play the piano. I wanted to be I started to learn how to sing, and everything was the arts and media. And I always had these big dreams. So I went to pursue my career in New York. I lived in New York with a well-known person, which I can't mention his name, but he was an infomercial king. And I lived with him for a very short span of time. And I pursued my musical career, and I was told that I was too nice. This is 1986. No, not, excuse me, 1988. I was told that I was too nice. And in that time, you had to sleep your way to the top.
Mm,
And I said, I'm not going to sell my soul. What are
right.
they, like, insane? I'm not going to do that.
Wow.
Besides, my father would kill me. I mean, come on.
So were you acting? Were you auditioning for musicals
It's
or for
it,
acting? Or,
it I when I moved to New York, I lived on East 78th and 2nd Street. I went
nice.
on a lot of different auditions, and things started to, like, happen, but it wasn't the right trajectory course. I could tell that I would have gone down the slippery slope. There
Okay.
was a lot of temptation. Let me just leave it at that.
Okay.
There,
Okay. Well,
there was a lot of things that I wouldn't have been proud to be and do today. And I don't know, everywhere. I mean, I was a good person, but I was
yeah,
promiscuous. Not I wasn't evil. I was curious.
right.
And I
Right.
would find myself getting into unusual circumstances. I'm very lucky that I came out the way I did,
Well, I'm glad.
because things could have ended a lot worse in many situations. And while I was in New York, I kept, I was being told all the time, you're too nice, you're too nice, you're too nice. So I decided that I would get involved with a children's TV show. But
Oh, okay.
I was thinking, like, what can I do? But nothing ever happened. Um, and I'm jumping all over the place because there's
That's
so many things that happen in between, all the in between moments. And but you asking me, "Well, how did I end up here?" Well,
okay. So
here,
let's go back. Let's go back a minute. So how
go
did
ahead.
you? So when did you go to Somerville Media, and how did that shape who you are today? And tell us about Somerville Media.
Somerville Media is a local access station in Somerville, Mass, and we are one of over 700 local access stations in the country. Our station won 8 years in a row, number one in the country. And it's because of all the shows. I am part of that because I produce so many TV shows,
Okay.
like a lot. And I worked as a volunteer at Somerville Media Center for 19 years without getting paid. I put in I put in the sweat equity, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours
And
learning about.
why were you an intern for so long? And isn't that illegal to be working to volunteer?
No, no, no. I was with a group called Dead Air Live, and I went there because I had done my TV pilot for JoJo's DreamCart in 2002, and I paid out of my own pocket $102,000 for a 10-minute and 33-second uh TV pilot. This is JoJo's DreamCart, okay?
And that was just a pilot.
This was a pilot at Hearst Argyle, which is CBS. And I
Okay.
was told, why don't you go to the local TV station and see if you can get people to help you to do more episodes? I didn't have that kind. I was paying out of my own pocket.
Wow.
$102,000
A lot.
was a lot of money, but I was making a lot of money where I was working on the waterfront.
Oh, okay. So you
So
kept the job on the waterfront and you were making
yeah,
money there. And then in different part
And
of the day
in
or
between, well,
between?
I worked, it was a seasonal business, so I had a few months off out of the year, but Dead Air Live was every Tuesday night. It was a live show. And I walked into the TV station asking for help, and someone said, we don't know who you are, but we need a camera person in the studio. Can you come in and help? And I went, yeah. So I was asked, I walked into a situation I knew nothing about TV
Wow.
TV cameras. And before you know, I'm behind the TV camera, part of this production. This show, I was there in 2003, but the show actually started in 1974. We were almost a year older than Saturday Night Live,
Oh, wow.
the longest live running TV show in America. So I'm in the studio and I'm behind the camera and I said, I'm hooked. I was hooked. So I learned everything about TV production, lighting, directing, producing,
Wow.
audio. I was really into producing, putting all the pieces together, these live productions, and we would have 2 hours to create an entire set.
Wow.
And I loved interviewing people. I loved putting all the pieces together. It was phenomenal. And then coming home and editing. I got into editing. I mean, I became obsessed with TV production. You know, people are doing podcasts now. Then I had people waiting in line and they wouldn't have to pay anything. They would get a production that was worth 10,000 to $50,000 for free.
Wow.
For free.
That's crazy.
I know. And
So
and
I like to say about just point out, so you weren't getting paid, and I share this with people that I mentor. I think it's, you were getting an education. You weren't in
right.
college, but you were getting hands-on better, I would say, in many respects, better than college because you were hands-on, you were in the trenches. When people go to take a real estate test, it has nothing to do with what we do. You're going to learn on the job through me, and you were learning on the job. So I know people are like, well, you didn't get paid, but what you learned, now you have your own business because of what you learned from that while having fun. So it was almost a hobby and learning at the same time. So I just wanted to point that out to people. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you're not getting paid, but you are getting so much more. And I talk
I
about
was
that.
yeah. And you'll laugh at this. Um Apple Apple Computer had something called, you would go in for an hour a week and they would train you for whatever you wanted to learn. And I would be there for 3, 4 hours a week because I would cook my meatballs and gravy. And they used to like say, they would kind of like fight who was going to help me because they knew they were going to get the food. They don't do that anymore. So instead of going to Emerson College for
Right,
semesters, I was
right.
getting an Apple school education for free.
Absolutely. And I liken that because you were young. Well, you were pretty young at the time, but I liken that nowadays that would not happen, right? You wouldn't be able to work
No,
somewhere for that long. That wouldn't happen. And
no.
when I was in college, I was going to be a junior, and I'd written a letter to the United States Supreme Court for an internship. They said, they didn't have anything but check back. Well, I got to DC and I walked up those front stairs of the United States Supreme Court. I walked in and I said, I'm Debbie DiMaggio. And I said, can I speak to the clerk of the court, Alexander L. Stevens? And I did, and I got the job. So
Because you asked.
I asked, and I went there and I said, I'm Debbie DiMaggio. Now you look back and you're like, well, first of all, you wouldn't get up the stairs probably of the Supreme Court with the way things are today. We've got to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back and we're going to pivot onto something else JoJo is very good at.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical. Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Welcome back to Mastering the Art of Success. I'm your host, Debbie DiMaggio. We are here with JoJo LaRiccia of Boston, Massachusetts, and you can hear it in her cute little accent. So you are a feisty 11-year-old, and you have not, well, let's start. You're a feisty 4-year-old and an 11-year-old, and you did not stop. So we're going to pivot from video for a little bit, and my question is, you call yourself a super connector, and I can relate to that. I know you are as well as myself. What does that really mean in today's world, being a super connector?
That means opening up your book of people and sharing who you know with those who need your help. So when I am doing my Zoom calls, I will get together with the person, I'll write a little blip about them, and I'll say to them, what professional people would you like to meet? What industries can I introduce you to? And I will make, with every Zoom call that I do, on the average, I do 10 Zooms per day. So every person gets at least 5 introductions, at least, for every Zoom call. And I do it all within that 30 minutes. And sometimes if people go on and on, I'll say, listen, we got to move quick here. Do you want introductions? Do you want leads? Now, I cannot guarantee what's going to happen during that conversation. It's up to the two people
Right.
to make the energy happen. Sometimes people, they'll just say, oh, they're not a good fit. Well, guess what? If you don't ask the right questions, you're never going to know.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
that's what makes me the super connector.
So tell me, what we're talking about is we do these one-on-ones that work.
Yeah.
Our framework for our BNI Business Networking International, and that's how we
Right.
met. So I've always wondered how many Zoom calls, you Zoom one-on-ones, you meet people per day. And so you do 10. So is that for 10 minutes, 15, 20, 30 minutes? And then how
30
long do you
minutes.
take?
30 minutes. And what I do is from like 12 to 5, I will do back to back to back to back to back Zooms. The
Okay.
mornings I will keep free for my clients, early evening for my clients, Saturdays for my clients. People say, when do you have time to do your work? And I'm saying, I'm like a Wells oil machine. I wake up
Right.
around 4 to 5 every morning. The early bird catches the worm, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, this like I'm motivated. I take Sundays off to be with family and friends. You have to take that day of rest. I do
Right.
not make connections on Saturday or Sunday. I'm shut down to make connections. But I do work with my clients either to film them on a Saturday or help them with the distribution, the social media aspect when I
Okay.
create the videos for people.
So in that 30-minute one-on-one call, you're having that call and then you get off and then right away, do you make those connections right after you get off the
Right.
call with that person?
No, I do it during the call.
Oh,
I
okay.
will meet a person on the call and I'll say, Debbie, tell me a little bit about yourself. And I'll say, and I tell him, I'm writing a little blurb about you so I can introduce you to the people that are going to help your business. Is that okay? And most people say, yeah, that's fine. So I'll say, meet Debbie DiMaggio, real estate agent in your city, wherever your city is, and who provides, who helps, who serves. I only want 4 or 5 sentences. I
Right,
ask for your website. I ask for your LinkedIn. I just want to give a little bit of information just to create enough curiosity.
right.
So when somebody, they'll know if they want to meet you. They'll have your website. They'll have your LinkedIn.
And it's very effective, I can say, because you've introduced me to quite a few quality people, not just everyone, but really quality people. Now not hoping to, I'll be going to Italy, to Verona to meet Alessandro.
Oh my
Ali,
God, you're going to meet Alessandro Ulysses?
yeah, so I hasn't
Oh,
I haven't planned it yet, but I said I'm going to talk to my daughter. I'm going to have her arrange it, and we'll go. I have so many people throughout Europe, real estate agents and architects, and people throughout Europe that I really need to plan a tour, and he's one of them. And you connected me with him, and he's now
my,
also connected me to someone, an Italian who also comes to Los Angeles. So one connection continues to sprout wounds, right? And that was because of you. So I just love your connections. It's really effective.
thank you.
So let's jump into back to video. So what separates good video? Because you do these explainer videos, and if you want to give us a little intro before, but what separates good video from video that actually converts?
That is an excellent question. A lot of people who are involved with media take shortcuts.
Hmm.
When we do videos, I wish I taped the call I just got from a client. She just looked at her video and she screamed, Joe, Joe. I said, are you okay? She says, I'm so happy I could cry. She said, I can't believe that you captured it perfectly. I wish
Wow.
we had done the same for you, but
We're- yeah,
we're gonna go there. We
we're
have to
working
do
on
this. We're working on it.
it. Right.
But what happens is a lot of people don't understand that when a video is created, there's a lot of research
Hmm.
that's going on behind the scenes. There are storyboards that are created.
Wow.
This, like, we are treating this like a short film, a short documentary style film. Every word that you say, every transition, there's
Hmm.
24 frames in a second. The coloring, the opening, the music, the titles, the flow, the story. There is so much, and a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm going to use AI. And the reason why I'm filming 15 to 20 commercials a month is people don't know it. They don't know what quite how to put their finger on it. But our videos are excellent. And they
Wow.
do convert because there is a story. When my
Okay.
editor and I, we were talking about your video, we went back and forth a couple of hours discussing Debbie DiMaggio. And I said, well, the next step is when we have this planned, that I'm going to
Yep.
sit with you and we're going to go frame by second. What do you like? What do you see here? Paint a
Okay.
picture for us so we
Right.
can do justice for you. There's no second guessing.
Right.
And we don't always nail it. We nail it, by the way, about 90% of the time. We get it perfect. But once in a while, someone say, well, that doesn't match, or I really wanted this image instead, and a lot of people steal things from the website. We don't do that. Everything that we have has to be licensed. You know, we
Right,
pay for all these licensed libraries. You have to,
right,
because if
right,
you don't, this fines. And I don't
right,
want to, I don't want to be in the middle of that.
right, right. No, I get it. And I understand it's hard because I'm in real estate and my market is different. Uh, Be dramatic about it. You know, Italy is different than Los Angeles, right? And it's
Right.
just, and where we are, it's very different too. So it's, you know, capturing, because my business is lifestyle and it is the lifestyle that I'm selling to my clients who come here.
Right. Right.
It's, it couldn't be more important. It's not like I'm selling vacuums or something. It's like, it's
Right.
the area is so important. And I know I'm a pain in the ass.
Well,
um,
you know, you asked me about conversion.
yes.
Another thing that a video, if somebody has a video, they'll say, "Oh, I have a video, I put it on YouTube." It goes nowhere. Zero, nowhere. It's like you show it to a few friends, you know, it's like a home movie on your iPhone. What people fail to understand is you have to have all the right metadata attached to the video. I do that for the client, because what good is a video if it's like, if it's a drop of water in the ocean or a
Right.
piece of sand in a desert? No one's going to notice you.
Right.
I work with the client organically so that they are seen, heard, remembered, and connected. I can bring the people to you, but you have to close the deal. Although I can say that in some situations, the videos on their own just close the deal, which
And
is fantastic.
is metadata words or phrases?
It's a lot of things, but when people work with me, that's my secret sauce. I don't share that with people what the metadata is. I know how to acquire it. It's so many layers of information. And during COVID, just another quick little story. I was working at the local TV station as a volunteer. I was a volunteer, but it was work. I was also the archivist. I archived close to 800 shows for Dead Air Live. So I have all these titles after what I do. And they wouldn't allow me to come back to the station because I did not get the vaccination.
Oh,
I
wow.
did not get the vaccine shot. So I was not allowed back. They felt bad. JoJo, just get the shot. No, I am not going to get it. I am not going to be a guinea pig. I'm not going to do it. End of story. So now I'm home and I have to reinvent myself. And
Right.
this is where I am today, because I had to reinvent myself and find a way to do what I do through the computer, making it look like it's not through the computer, is an
Mm.
art form.
And what you do, because you're in Boston and I'm in California, we don't have to go into how we shot, but you were there and I was here and we shot
Right.
through technology. So let's go to strategy, business insight. You distribute across 100 plus platforms. I can't even name.
There's up to 145. Nobody's in 145
How
platforms.
should
Like
someone think about where their content goes?
well, have you ever gone out for sushi
Yes.
and they give you like something with a pencil and they'll say, check off what you want?
Yes.
I have a list. When people work with me, they get the list and you choose where you want to be positioned. I tell everyone, if you don't recognize what it is, you never will recognize it. Like, I have a place where you could be distributed in India. I have a place where you could be distributed in China. You may not want that because it has nothing to do with what you're doing. So I tell people there are the non-negotiables where you want to be, and all the other places, if you're in there, great. If you're not, it doesn't matter. It's where you're at. The reason why it's important to put yourself out in a few places is today we don't know where people are looking or where they're listening.
Right.
We don't know if they're going to see you on a billboard. We don't know if they're going to be on your website. We don't know if they're going to be on Google Review. We don't know if they're going to be on LinkedIn. We don't know if they're going to see you in your email signature. We don't know where eyeballs are going to be. So I tell people, do not pay for any ads. Do not pay for anything that you don't have to pay for. Try all the organic stuff first because it works. Because if you pay for ads, then if they hear me, the people are probably going to hate me. But it's like taking your money and throwing it down the toilet bowl. You're taking a chance. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
That's a good point. What does organic video marketing really look like when done right?
It has all the right metadata attached to what you do.
Okay.
That's it. And
And
there's
that,
many layers of metadata. When you and I, when the video's complete and we do the distribution, you're gonna go, oh my God. You're gonna have instructions for the places that you want to be positioned in. It's gonna help you in every facet of your business. I'm
it sounds,
giving people I'm giving
sounds like a
people
lot.
it's
Sounds like a
it's
lot of
not
work that you're going to give me.
it really isn't. I met with a woman, she was overwhelmed and she said to me, "Oh my God, you're making this so easy."
Okay.
What marketing agencies and ad agencies do with you, I'm a hurricane in 3 hours. I just tell you, show up, don't be distracted, and be on your computer and don't have any other windows open. And we're going to work like lightning speed. And I
And then
work with 1 hour each week. Well, you can't do this all at once because you would get burnout and you would want to sleep for a week.
right, right, absolutely. How can someone stand out when everyone is posting video?
Work with JoJo and you'll find out. It's that simple.
Okay. What's the biggest mindset block you see people have being on camera?
Some people don't like the way they sound. They
Mhm.
don't like the way they look. And I tell them, get over it. It's like you're sitting in my kitchen and I'm feeding you meatballs and gravy. It always goes back to the meatballs and the gravy.
We
Okay.
come from that same family.
And if you're a vegetarian, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't eat a lot of meat, but I rarely eat meat, but I will have Adam's sauce with the chopped up meat and Italian sausage.
It's,
Okay, so how do you help clients feel confident and authentic on video?
oh, that's
With
very easy.
the
I
JoJo method.
find, always find the best way to build people. I look for the positive attribute. Okay, I'm going to share another story which really changed another trajectory course for me. I'm at Hearst Argyle the day of filming, and Ed McMahon from Johnny Carson, his nephew, was the producer. And he says to me, I'm not going to give you his name because I'm sure he has lots of nephews. He says to me, if you screw up today, we're all walking off the set. Because I couldn't memorize lines. I was so nervous. I was nervous. And I made a vow in that moment that if I'm going to work with anyone, I will not instill fear in them. I will build upon their positive attributes. Even if they're not doing good, I will find something to build them. Because the reason why people may not do well on camera is because they're afraid, they
Mhm.
don't know, they feel uncomfortable. And my job is to encourage them, And I have a way of doing that. That's been one of my strengths.
Right, absolutely. You're very good at that. What's one small shift someone can make today to improve their visibility immediately?
Lighting
Good. Very good.
and
Yep.
audio.
Yes.
People in the film industry, one of the highest paid people in the film industry, other than the actors, is the audio person.
So
You
true.
can have the best video, but if the audio is not right? Again, it's almost like you got nothing.
That's
So
so true.
your audio's got to be great. The reason why people like going to the movies, well, now they have systems at home where they can
Right.
get that surround sound and you can get the movie experience at home. But when we used to go to the movies back in the day, the sound was incredible.
That's true.
Now
That
we
is,
have that at home, but it's huge.
it's key. Right. And if you don't have good sound, you just want to turn it off. So, yes,
Yeah,
extremely
right.
important. Can you share a client success story where video truly changed their business?
Yes, I can. I'll talk about Dan Wiswall. Dan Wiswall is from Massachusetts, and I did 14 videos for Dan.
Wow.
And Dan had a company called Repair Calibration. And I didn't know that he was doing these videos in mind that he would sell his business. Now, Repair Calibration is he had equipment that would calibrate toasters, coffee makers, the bridges that we go over. Um, when you go into a car dealership and they have these things where they hook the car up to these computers, the satellites in the sky, he had a repair calibration. There's quite a few of them in the United States, but he sold his business. He had 26 employees, and we went out to lunch around 6 months ago. And I said, Dan, he told me he sold his business. I said, Dan, let me ask you a question. Did you get the price that you wanted for your business? He said, I got double. I said,
Wow.
double. And he said, it's because that he said, one of the reasons is because I worked with you. Because he said of the videos that really helped me to go over the top. Now
Wow.
he's going back into his childhood and he's taking people on these adventures and excursion vacations. He says he's going to be doing that for as long as he can because he has so much money to burn.
Wow. That's awesome.
Okay.
So would he do a couple videos a year, or is he doing?
No. I did 14 videos for him, like over a course of a year, about his products. I mean, and the guy was fun to work with. He was a great person. You know, I will say this to you because people ask me, do videos always work? And the answer is no, absolutely not.
Right.
If somebody comes in and they want to work with me and they have a negative belief, a limitation that
Hmm.
I cannot help them, then they have already put that firewall around this
Hmm.
whole experience.
Right.
They really stop the abundance coming for them. They
Right.
have they have done that on their own accord. If they say, I don't know if this is gonna work, blah blah blah, it's like I just want to say, stop it right now. Just
Right.
stop.
So
If you
come in with a positive mindset, wanting to work with JoJo. So JoJo, how does someone get a hold of you to book a one-on-one call with you or to hire you to do their explainer video?
they can text me. I give out my phone number 617-710-2848, 617-710-2848, or my website's being rebuilt at laricciamedia.com, LARICCIA media, media.com, LARICCIA media.com, or they can email me at jojo at laricciamedia.com.
And what would you tell your last question? What would you tell your 25-year-old self? What advice would you give your 25-year-old self when you were just, well, I
Don't,
guess your 11-year-old self?
yeah, don't waste time feeling bad about anything. And as my mother made me promise her before she died, speak up and let people know how you feel. Don't like hold things inside. Say
Mm,
what's on your mind, but be kind about it.
right.
Be kind.
Be kind. That's my favorite. That's my favorite line. I love it. Well, JoJo, this was so fun to turn the tables on you and be the one to interview you rather than you interviewing me. And I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to meet with you next week. And we can go through my video, dissect it, and make it perfect. I've got the
We
right
will.
one, and I'll be ready for you next week.
All right. I love you, Debbie DiMaggio. You're such a beautiful soul. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all your viewers out there, they're really lucky to have you, Debbie DiMaggio.
Thank you.
Tune in each week for another episode of Mastering the Art of Success with host Debbie DiMaggio. Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern. Real stories, real strategies, real success.